What's going on, everybody? GemMint here, and XM Studios just released their brand new quarter scale Batman from Dark Knight's Death Metal, and we got a Batman on bike situation going on here. Alright guys, so we got another Batman on bike. This time it's quarter scale, this time it's from XM Studios and part of the Dark Knight's Death Metal series. So if you guys are following the channel, you know that I'm collecting Prime 1's 1/3 scale line, but some of these XM pieces are outdoing the Prime 1 pieces, making me almost regret that decision with the Devastator for sure, and I think with the Batman as well, because Batman from Prime 1 Studios from Death Metal looks good, but this one on the bike looks crazy. So first of all, we got the price. 2,899 Singapore dollars, which translates to about 21.35, so $2,135. Although it's not licensed for the United States, they only have what looks like the Southeast Asia territories. That's what it would convert to. We're gonna get specs in just a moment. First, the picture shows up a kind of downward perspective looking up. You can see the base. It has these zombies crawling out of the rubble. You have this log with some moss and some vines on it, and then you have this skeleton-like bike rising up on a wheelie with Batman on it. He's got the scythe in his left hand. He's got his cape flowing. The second picture gives us the dimensions along next to the XM Studios employee. So 87 centimeters tall, which is just over 34 inches. It's 48 centimeters in its width, which is almost 19 inches, and 78 centimeters wide, which is just shy of 31 inches wide. So he's definitely a big boy, as you can see here. And this picture shows us that side profile. It shows us how big it would be next to you, which is basically from your hips to over your head. So huge piece. It looks like the scythe gives it a lot of height as well. Here's the same picture without those lines so we can get an idea of what we're looking like. Batman, he's standing up on this bike as he's popping a wheelie. It's definitely metal, and you can see the back of the bike here. Like I said, that cape is flowing. That looks great. You have the tires, and you have that fender made of bones that goes over it. This picture here very similar to the one with the dimensions, although you have that nice ambient light behind him. Here's a close-up of the rib cage covering the motor of this bike. It's literally a motorcycle made up of nightmares. You've got that bone color there with that texturing. You can see his right hand here holding the handlebar. You can see the gauntlet with all those buckles and the glove that has kind of those spiked knuckles on it. So giving a little bit of Batman Who Laughs design into this death metal version of Batman. Here's his boot, and I don't know if he has enough buckles between the boot and then going up to the thigh. So many straps, so many buckles. You would think Rob Liefeld designed this. Here's a close-up of the log. It's got a wet, moist type of look to it, and then like I mentioned, those green leaves and vines. We can see a little bit of the cowboy zombie underneath him. Here's a shot more from the rear over his shoulder. You can see his left gauntlet holding that large weapon. The wraps and the wood handle have a very good texture to them, and you have what looks like a very dull blade up top. There goes our cowboy. So you have this zombie creeping out. He looks dirty. He looks like he was buried and he's creeping up out of his grave. A lot of nice paint applications along with texturing on the zombie. Here's another one, almost looks like a pirate. He's got the blade in his teeth as he's clawing his way back to life, or back to the living, even though I think all this takes place in hell if I recall the story. He's got a gnarly gash over his forehead, a lot of movement in the hair, and you can see another zombie, kind of a skeletal looking face. Here you go. He's got about 3 teeth on the top jaw. Love those lifeless eyes without pupils. Here's kind of another shot from the rear, but this time showing the entire piece, and you're getting an entire quarter scale motorcycle. Now they've done this a number of times. They did it with their Punisher. They did it with their Ghost Rider. I think the Catwoman Samurai was one of them. I feel like there might be even another one in the mix. Here's another full body shot, kind of a little bit angled down, but you can kind of get the gist of what you're getting here now with this guy. Here's a close-up of that leather seat. Of course, it's fully sculpted, but you can see the intricate sculpture that makes it look lifelike. It makes it look like it's leather. Under that, you can see the exhaust pipes, and it has a little bit of what looks like the burnt metal near the edge of it. And even the bike itself has dents in there. It's not a fresh bike. It's literally popping a wheelie over a sea of zombies. You can see the tread on the tires there. Looks super realistic. I mean, I don't even question the price when I look at this piece. When you're getting a full quarter scale character with a sculpted cape and a vehicle, the entire vehicle, I'm not even complaining. You've got the belt there with the skulls and the chains. Those chains look movable, of course. Here's a front shot showing the hood ornament. It almost looks like, yeah, a bat skull for the hood ornament. moment here. That makes a lot of sense. You can see his shoulder pads there, of course the bat emblem on his chest. And at this point, I mean, this is par for the course when you can see the sculpted fabric, and when he's turning, it's moving with him, and you can see the line work near his abs. Here's a look at that portrait. So he's got a very scarred looking face. You can see he's gritting his teeth. Love the cowl with the whited out eyes that is also damaged. You can see kind of scratches going across his face. And wow, look at the detail on those shoulder pads. So they're not just on his shoulders, they go around to his back as well. Very bat-like, almost like he's transforming into a bat with his clothing. You can see his cape is really a trench coat. He's got the belt flowing in the wind, almost like a Punisher mixed with Batman, but this ain't the Grim Knight. Here was Batman with his left arm in his air, almost like he's screaming yeehaw. Another full shot here of the statue, but this time it's got the XM Studios mug with it. Another shot from the side here. You can kind of see the shadows being casted by his cowl. Just another great look at that motorcycle. It's great how you can see those front tires coming out of that bat skull's mouth. It kind of threw me off at first because I don't think that the bat's ears would be made of bone, but you're getting the gist of what's going on here. Look at all the intricacies in that wheel. I mean, you can see where the brakes would be. You can see what looks like the shocks going into the front of the bike. Batman here once again. You see the scythe in the air. Love the movement of the trench coat slash cape. Here's a downward angle. You could just get a good shot of all the details here, whether it's the costume or the motorcycle. It's packed full of detail. It almost really makes me wonder, what are they going to do with Superman and Wonder Woman? Because this is a holy trinity in the comics. They're all this death metal version of themselves. Another close-up of the bike. Man, you could just stare at this for hours on all the detail. I love the piece coming out of the mouth. That's, I guess, what you would call the fender of that front tire. The bone detail of it and the way that it just looks so wicked and nightmarish. Another close-up of that bat skull. I love the paint applications for the bone and the cracks in that sculpt there. You could even see those sharp teeth down there going closer to the tire. Here goes a shot of the back tire. It's got what looks like the chain, almost like a bicycle chain. I don't think that would really be there on a motorcycle, would it? This video is brought to you by THATSPIDERMANBOOTH.com. That Spider-Man Booth is now doing subscription boxes, and they have some great exclusives for the month of December. They got a Ninja Funk issue 2 secret Christmas cover. It's an Alex Cormack exclusive with concept art by JPG himself and Molly Wood. They did 250 regulars, 100 foils, and there's a 1 out of 1 medal. Cover has not been revealed yet. Also, will include an Alpha Betas one, same cover artist, Alex Cormack, who has that Rick and Morty style. Another concept by JPG McFly, which they made 600 regulars, 100 foils, and another 1 out of 1 medal. Make sure to visit ThatSpidermanBooth.com and subscribe to their subscription box. And that's it for the picture. So we got to give a shout out to Riccardo Federici, who did the concept design, and you have Suryanto Hadamaja on the 3D sculpt. I hope I pronounced that correctly. So it's an incredible piece. I mean, I could even see collectors going after this as just a standalone Batman on bike. You know, it's the death metal line, of course, and they have quarter scale companions to go with this, just like Prime 1 has the 1/3 scale. If I wasn't already as deep as I am into the Prime 1 line, I would definitely be picking this up along with the other characters. But I do think some companies got some better than the others. I feel like the Merciless Prime 1 got better. I feel like the Red Death Prime 1 got better, but they're different scales, so you can't really mix and match. If you're collecting this line, I'm sure you're going to be happy with this. This is one of those pieces where the price is like, okay, it's high, it's $2,000, but you're getting a lot of bang for your buck on this piece. So I definitely wanted to react to it and share my thoughts on it. Not one that I'll be picking up just simply because I'm collecting the 1/3 scale line, but let me know what you guys think about Batman on bike from the Dark Knights Death Metal by XM Studios. And as always, stay minty fresh. Peace.
DJ Links.